I had homework the other night, or actually it was last night. Alan said you need to watch The Founder. And The Founder is about McDonald's and how McDonald's grew. And come to find out, the person that I thought started McDonald's did not start McDonald's. He was a real jackass. And at the end of that movie, I felt very sad because this person sold their soul for success. And I think there's a lot of people, especially in this industry, doing that. And it kind of makes me sad.
In the 21st century, I have aviators on. I gotta call it out. I have aviators on. For those of you on YouTube, we just decided to be funny today. In the 21st century, I think it's easier to sell out than ever. And I think, unfortunately, because the internet is global, it's 6 billion people online almost, you can kind of get away with a lot more. And it's easy to sell out. And Kevin and I, on this journey, are telling you, no matter what you do, fundamentals are really important, and whatever you do, do not sell out.
Next Level Nation today for episode number 2070. Alan, if you're watching this live on YouTube, you can see Alan has his shades on. We're just in a weird mood. I don't know. It's Friday. We're recording this on Friday. It's 80 degrees out. Summer is here. And it doesn't matter because we're just grinding out these podcast episodes. Don't sell your soul for success. Alan said something on a previous episode where he was talking about how he was with someone when they paid $6,000 or whatever it was to buy an Instagram page that had a lot of followers. Mm-hmm. And I was thinking, I wonder if I know that person. And then it clicked in my head and I was like, I do know that person. I know exactly who that person is. And I had completely forgotten that they did that.
Yep.
And it's just, I see it everywhere. I see it everywhere. I had somebody message me today, and I shared it on my story. They said, Kevin, we love your podcast. In only 4 episodes of ours, we were able to get to 4 million. First of all, 4 million what? I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Yeah.
And I shared it, and I put a little Ron Swanson from Parks and Rec that said, I know more than you do. Because there's a scene in Parks and Rec where he goes to Home Depot and somebody comes up to him and says, anything I can help you find? And he looks at them just straight in the face and says, I know more about this than you do. And just walks away. And I feel like that a lot of times. A lot of the shit that I get is people that are essentially saying, sell your soul for some success. I can help you do it because I've already sold my soul to get some success. And we've made some really hard decisions that were really bad for our business growth, but really good for our self-worth. We've moved on from mentors. We've said no to big opportunities. And I just think, yes, in the short run, it sucks. And yes, in the short run, you'll probably say, why can't I do that? Why does my character not allow me to do that? But in the long run, it will be worth it. At least you have to believe that. Because if you don't believe that, you are going to sell out. And I'm telling you, you're most likely going to regret it. Would any of these people say that they regret it? I don't know. But I am convinced behind the scenes, if you could have a couple drinks in them and have a real authentic conversation, hey brother, between you and I, you fucked up, right? When you bought that, you know you fucked up when you bought that. Does any piece of you feel guilt at all? Yeah, I can imagine, right? I feel like, I don't know, it's a slippery slope.
Well, it's shame.
Yeah.
I think that a lot of us feel shame subconsciously and unconsciously when we do things that are out of integrity. And
aren't you supposed to?
Yes.
Right? Aren't you supposed to?
I had that conversation with Amelia on a walk. I said there has to be some accountability. I think that's what shame is for. And if you use shame to try to control people, that's bad. That's not what I'm talking about. But of course you're going to be ashamed of things that are... When you act like a shithead, you should be ashamed of it. I have some shame around certain things I've done in my past. And I don't think that's bad. I think it's important to look at those things and go, okay, well, that wasn't great. And I wish I hadn't said that. And that was probably not the best version of me. And then you work through that and try to make sure at the end of the day, and I think film is the best for this. And the founder, the point of that movie is he sold his soul. And at the very end, I don't know if you remember the scene, but at the very end, you saw shame in his eyes. He ended up marrying that other woman, And in the very end, it showed the shame in the mirror. You know what scene I'm talking about? At the very end, he's sitting in front of the mirror in his mansion, having achieved everything he wanted to achieve, and then you saw the shame in his eyes.
Yep.
And to me, I would rather, and you said this too, I think this was actually your quote, I would rather be a failure in integrity than successful selling out.
For sure.
And at the end of the day, only it's you versus you. You know what is selling out. And if I showed up to every episode with aviators on to try to get more clicks, that would affect me. That's not my purpose. That's not my calling. And it's very hard to understand what is and is not in alignment. And a lot of times we go outside of alignment and then you have to check in and go, you know what? I don't know if I can keep doing that. I don't know if I can coach that person. And it's tough. I understand. I understand why this is so challenging, especially when your goals require you to. I was a fitness model and I did some photo shoots, and there's a few photos on the internet that it's like, again, I wasn't naked in any of them, but there was some tight boxer shorts for sure. For sure. And you know, that's not the legacy that I want to leave. That's not the impact I want to have. And last piece before I kick it back to you, Kev. So we've talked about the story where I interviewed 3 times to be cast for a show called Love Island. And basically the guy said, hey, you're really hot. I think he was a homosexual man. He said, you're really hot. This is a bunch of hot people on an island that fall in love, and it's just mayhem.
Sounds like a great show.
Are you in? And he obviously sold it better than that. But I went on the interviews, and it was, I still joke to this day, it's the one time where being intelligent was actually a bad thing in an interview. Are you always this articulate and calculated in what you do and don't say? Yeah. Should I just fly off the cuff and be a belligerent drunk? Yes. Yeah, that would help for us.
Yeah, that's exactly what we're looking for.
They were like, hey, were you cheated on recently? Or is there some drama with you and your... It's a whole fucking thing. Reality TV is completely fabricated. And I know that from behind the scenes. But anyways, Kevin and I at the time, we talked about it. And the truth is, no, I'm not proud of that. I wouldn't be proud of that. Yeah, I would have gotten famous. Of course. Yeah, I would have gotten opportunities. Yeah, I might have been... But honestly, it's... When my head hits the pillow at night, am I going to be proud of me? Is that congruent with the man I want to be? I talked to Kev recently about this too. I said, what do you think about our content? What do you think about the work we do in the world? It's you versus you. You're never going to win the try to be what other people need you to be thing. You have to understand branding, marketing, and sales. You have to understand that the market dictates what level of success you do reach. If you're going to be an engineer in the 21st century and you're doing software engineering, you're probably going to have a higher probability of success than someone who, I don't know, breeds horses. Okay? I get that. You have to cater who you are to what the world wants. But if you overdo that, you are going to lose yourself and you're going to fucking be deeply unfulfilled. And to me, what's the point of success if you're unfulfilled?
I was on a podcast and we were talking about reverse engineering regret. And they were like, I've never thought of that before. When I said, I mean, for most of my life, I didn't. I don't know if that was an Alan thing. I don't know if you came up with that or we came up. I don't know. I'm sure somebody else in the annals of time have, but I was like,
How dare you? That was me.
I don't know. Was it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Anytime it says reverse engineer, most likely
that's fair. Brother. That's fair. All right. Well, we'll say Alan created it. So if you're out there and you think he created it first, you're wrong.
If this tattered flashcard that I've been carrying in my pocket to the point where looks like it's been through the laundry 18 times, it's a book called The Top 5 Regrets of the Dying by a woman named Bronnie Ware, and it's the 5 regrets of people that were terminally ill. We interviewed her. Shout out to Bronnie. But anyways, yeah, reverse engineering regret is go into your future on the rocking chair or whatever with the grandkids, whatever it is for you. And ask yourself, are you proud of what you did in the world? Are you proud of who you became? Are you proud of the people you spent time with? Are you proud of the way you treated yourself and others? Are you proud? Is it respectable? Do you respect yourself? Do you have self-respect and reverence for who you are? Are you your own hero?
And you can't lie. That's the thing. You can't lie. It's when it's a conversation between you and it. Yeah, you can lie, but eventually the truth shows through. Eventually, and this is. I know it's fortune cookie type stuff, and I don't know how to make it sound good. But when you do something and you get really good at it, and you feel confident and you feel competent and you have a sense of pride when you're doing it, I'm telling you, you would rather have that feeling than a bunch of people know you for something that you didn't really do in the first place. That's where imposter syndrome comes from for a lot of people. That's a huge piece, is so many people are looked at in such a high light when they feel like they don't deserve it because they know they're actually not that great. That's a piece of it. So it really is playing the long game and working at it for a long period of time. It's not sexy, but you can't listen to the guru who's going to tell you how to do something. It's not real. That's not how it really works. And you will regret that. I'm certain of it. Will anybody know you regret it? Probably not, but you will. You'll get so much external feedback and external love and external validation, and it'll probably drive you insane because internally you won't feel like you deserve any of it. Because the truth is, you don't. You didn't do the work. If you lie, if you cheat, if you steal to get to a place that looks really good, you're going to know you didn't really earn it. And we want to earn it. It feels good to earn it. Yeah, we all think we want to be given something, but I don't think we really... I mean, if somebody messaged me and said, hey, I'll give you 50,000, it's like, I'd take it probably. I'd take it.
I don't think I would.
I know you would. I'd give you $3-4 of it. Something like that.
Well, to me, and again, I think this is the beautiful thing. I think that earning it, think of any movie, think of any film. Those are the same thing, Alan. Think of your favorite film. The character who's the most virtuous is the one you look up to the most. This is a silly reference, but I always loved Liam Neeson's character in the first Star Wars movie. His name was Qui-Gon Jinn.
Ah, yes, the old Qui-Gon.
You know Qui-Gon?
No, I've heard you. Okay. I've heard you speak. Right. I've heard you speak of him.
Best character ever. The dude was just extremely wise and unbelievably virtuous. He took the high road. To me, there have been therapy sessions I've been in with my therapist, Carol, where she asked me while we were in she'd have me go inward and close my eyes and we'd do meditation. And she said, what does little Alan think of you? And I had the actual moment, and I highly recommend everyone does this. Maybe it's with a therapist, maybe it's alone. It's just a simple meditation. But when you get deep into your brain and you're imagining you as a little version of you, and you're looking at you as the younger version, she said, what do you think? And I said, holy shit, good for you. And it was so much more that I'm probably uncomfortable sharing, which is, you have the hottest girlfriend. Oh my God, good for you. Right? I mean, she's gorgeous beyond all the girls I wanted when I was growing up. And so I was a loser. I need people to understand this. I was such a fucking loser. I couldn't get girls to look at me. And so, of course, little Alan is like, whoa, you're my fucking hero. And I think that that's what matters. You versus you. Yes, you got to be competitive. Yes, you got to take in perspectives and feedback from other people. I got feedback from someone earlier that I was like, okay, I'll take that with a grain of salt. I do think there's some merit to it, but also I don't know if I want to change. It really always will be you versus you. And I do think you got to have a chip on your shoulder. I do think something in you needs to want to prove something to people. I get that. I think that let those things drive you, especially the fucking bullies. Let it drive you. Don't let it drive you nuts, but definitely let it drive you to your goals and dreams. But ultimately, what you realize over time when you get older and older and older is you just go, oh, I am so blown away at what I've done and who I've become. I think the last one, who I've become. I really do think that's what matters.
Next Level Nation, what is happening? If you've thought to yourself, I want to try coaching, but you don't really know where to start, group coaching would be a wonderful place for you. That's really why we created it in the first place. We start a new round every 90 days. So if you're hearing this, go to the website, nextleveluniverse.com, and we have the landing page where you can actually hold your spot right now. Even if there's a group going on right now, you can still lock your spot for the next one. The biggest thing that we've seen is as we get closer and closer to the date, unfortunately, some people end up missing. the group fills up and they can't do it, and then they end up regretting that. So please head over to the website. The link will be in the show notes, and we would love to see you there.
Another great movie, Black Panther. I know we're talking about movies a lot in this. The character in that film is what we all aspire to be. And the villain in every film is some arrogant fucking asshole who's a bully. Like, it's easy. It's easier to feel better about yourself by tearing someone down than it is to build yourself up. It's not easy. Like, the harder road is the longer road, and the higher road is always the harder road. Of course, anyone can buy a fucking Instagram account and be quote unquote famous, or go on Love Island and just whatever happens. Last piece, I promise, about this monologue. I was with someone years ago who was 10 times more famous than me. Probably 100 times. Okay, I'm not that famous. 100 times more famous than me. 100 times the impact, 100 times more famous, 100 times more status, 100 times more credibility. I am fucking certain that when I was in a room with this man, I felt better about myself than he feels about himself. I'm certain. I can tell. It's actually not even close. That is what I started playing for at 26 after that car accident. I started playing for how I feel about myself. Self-esteem and self-worth and self-respect, I think self-respect more than anything, comes from who you are and what you are when no one's watching. I am so proud of myself for the way I treat Emilia Smith. I am so proud of myself for the work we do in the world. It may not all be perfect. Some of it's hot garbage, but the intentions, the desire to help people grow and contribute, the leading by example and not being full of shit, I'm so proud of that. The mentors we've said fuck off to, I'm so proud of that. We didn't say that, but we, moved on. And I'm proud of that. I am. I think pride gets a bad name because it's ego, but there's a sincere, earned level of self-respect that I think we often call pride. I would call it self-respect. You're never going to have self-respect when you're selling out.
It's hard to make it land, though. I agree 1,000%, but I don't know. I mean, I don't think I've ever wanted to sell out. I don't think that was ever, who knows? Did I have bouts of that in the past? Probably when I was younger. But I remember you and I, when we were planning on moving away from a mentor, I said, dude, we have to do this for us. Like this is for inner stuff. This is going to hurt us externally, for sure.
Oh, for sure. It definitely did.
It's going to hurt us externally, but I hope, and my thought is that what we make up internally will allow us to outlast longer and long enough for it to make sense externally. And honestly, it hurt us a lot externally.
Yeah,
it hurt us
a lot of unique listeners every week.
Yeah, we had some really big opportunities because of that. But it got to the point where I felt like we were selling out. I felt like we were pretending to be something we weren't, and we were looking past things that weren't aligned because there were things that were more aligned beyond them. It's like, that's kind of a red flag. Ooh, those are big green flags, though, over there. That red flag looks a lot. But you can
kudos to you for that, because I think you having the courage to share that with me helped me agree with you and move on.
Well, I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, man.
I don't like being around people who don't have good characters. I can't fucking stand it. I cannot stand it. There's a reason I am a loner. That is one of the reasons. I would much rather be alone than surround myself with misaligned people. And again, I know not everybody has that relationship with relationships, but I'm not interested. I'm not interested. I don't care what you can do for me. I don't care who you can connect me with. I don't care. Be a good fucking person. Just be a good person. That's it. I would rather hang out with somebody who can do nothing for me. That's a good person. Than somebody who is just not nice and can do everything. I'm not interested. Don't need it. Don't need it. Don't need it. Because I'll lose sleep. I will lose sleep over that. It's
called having standards, man. This is good.
I suppose it is.
It's a good thing.
Throw those shades back on, will you son of a bitch? Throw those shades back on.
I'm not going to.
Let's go for a walk.
Let's take off. For anyone watching or listening, your goals, your dreams, your core values, your core beliefs It's really difficult. I'm telling you, being on other podcasts, being in the public figure space, there's a lot of opportunity for, hey, if you come on my show, I'll bring, will you have me on your...
All the time.
There's all the time. It's always this transactional... I get why that is. I do. I've never once looked back and regretted taking the high road.
It sucks in the moment sometimes though, right?
Definitely.
If we were
100%.
honest about that, it sucks in the moment.
Of course. And it sucks some of the missed opportunities. Of course. Yeah, of course. This is success and fulfillment. I think it needs to be fulfillment first, success second. I do. Let me rephrase that. Self-respect first. Success second. And if you choose self-respect first, I think that you will attract. I just know for a fact that I would never have met Emilia had I not chosen self-respect first. I needed to become a virtuous man, the most virtuous man I can possibly be. I never talk about this, but I made a decision after my car accident at 26 that I would become the most virtuous man in the world, the most virtuous man I can possibly be. And honestly, the most virtuous man on planet Earth. That was my commitment to myself, my promise to myself. As a matter of fact, I never planned on sharing that. And I can tell you that path has been way fucking harder.
Of course.
And I don't believe I would have ever met Emilia Smith had I not made that decision. Because that's the one decision when Kev came to me and was like, hey man, I don't know about that. Or hey, I don't know about this mentor. I was like, I made that promise to myself. I made that promise to myself. The promises you make to yourself, the standards you set inside, there's certain things that come as a byproduct of that, and they don't come right away. I was lonely for a long time. But I do know that I would never have met Emilia had I not made that decision.
Yeah. I was thinking of something the other day. I don't remember what it was. I'm on a podcast, babe. I love you. I don't remember what it was, but it was something relatively small. I wish I could remember what it was because I don't have a good context. But it was just... Yeah, no, I can't do that. If I was to do that, that would be a thing that I would have forever. You can't just... It doesn't just go away. It doesn't just go away.
Yeah, you'd always know.
It's always there. And nobody else would know. Nobody else would know. But I would know that I let myself down. And that's what matters. When I was young, when I was like 18, I almost cheated on my girlfriend.
Nice.
I
was just going to say, I've never cheated.
I've never cheated. I came
very close. Yeah. I've been not with Emilia. I've never been even remotely close with Emilia. I need to make that as clear as possible.
I don't leave the house, so there's no stress there. No worries.
But in the past, I was close and I couldn't do it.
I had it set up.
Couldn't do it.
It was set up. This person and I were going to be at the same party. We had already discussed it. It was going to happen. And then it was right up to like we were going into the same room and I was like, I can't fucking do this. If I do this one thing, I forever, for the rest of time, will have to say, well, there was this one time when I was 18. No, I can't do that. I can't do that. So I think that's a really good example. And again, shame on me for even thinking about it in the first place. But I think that's a really good example of reverse engineering regret. I would regret that. And that would always be this little check mark in a box that I don't want a check mark in. And I think that's selling your soul doesn't mean that you have to buy an Instagram page or whatever. It can mean anything. It can mean you're doing something, you're meeting a need in a negative way that's going to really, really take away from your needs eventually. That would be my next level lesson. It doesn't have to be something as big as stealing or whatever it is. It's, I think oftentimes, and maybe it's not as serious as quote unquote selling your soul, but if you're doing stuff that isn't good for your own self-respect, you're hurting yourself, unfortunately.
Yep, 100%. I think of it like a glass of water. I know we got to jump.
Yeah.
It's a glass of water. Brother, there are pictures of me in the past where I had mud in my glass. There are pictures that we show in monthly meetups or Next Level Live. If you were there, there was a picture of me where I was making there was basically a picture a Canva slide cut in half. On the left was me nearly blackout drunk. That night I actually peed myself. And I told everyone I spilled on myself. Yeah, well, that's an interesting area to spill on yourself. And it just, in big red bold letters, it said bad choices. And on the other side, on the right, it was me, Emilia, and Tucker, just fulfilled in the sun, looking good, feeling good, wildly in love. And it said good choices in green. And I told everyone at Next Level Live, I used to make some choices that were outside of alignment with my highest self. And I do regret it. I don't regret all of it. I had a lot of fun, but I do regret it. I knew that I was better than that. And I made terrible fucking choices. And after my car accident, when I faced my highest self, and my highest self said, brother, you're better than this, and you know it. And all the regret filled me. And it's like, you're changing now, and you're never making that mistake again. And you're never going to forget that at the end of the day, when you face mortality, what's going to matter is who the fuck you became and how you feel about you. And that was 10 years ago, and I started making good choices, and I quit drinking, and I stopped doing all drugs. I always say caffeine's my last remaining drug. No one's taken it. My last vice is caffeine. But I've been sober now for 6 years. My life has become magnificent, and I know it's because of that decision. I'm really, really, really fulfilled on a day-to-day basis now. Sometimes my life still sucks. It's really, really challenging. We're climbing a big mountain here. But at the end of the day, I hope the listeners and or viewers are... Your highest self is talking to you. Whether you want to get spiritual or not, it is. Your highest self knows what the high road is. The high road every day. We saw a little water bottle when we were on our walk this morning, and it was, we got to pick that up. We got to pick that up. It's litter. It's not ours. It's not our responsibility. We're going to pick that up. We're going to put it in the recycling. Just little shit. It builds a little bit of self-esteem, a little bit of self-esteem, a little bit of self-respect, a little bit of self-respect. And then, yes, you'll lose some friends who feel bad around you because they are not making those little choices every day. And that's unfortunately the case.
If you have lost your friends, unfortunately, or you're drifting apart from your friends and you're looking for aligned relationships based on self-improvement, personal development, getting better, next levelness, join our private Facebook group, Next Level Nation. Again, I know now seems like maybe the hardest time ever to make friends, but also it also could be the easiest if you jump in a group, message some people and say, hey, I'm looking for a study buddy. I'm looking for a peak performance partner. Whatever it is, we'll have the link in the show notes.
This book right here, Reset by Dan Heath. If you're listening to this and it's Saturday morning, today at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have book club. The registration link will be in the show notes. We have a private WhatsApp group. Great books with great people. Next level books with next level people. And I say this in the opening of book club. I say, listen, we're here to reach our potential. We can have fun, but we're not here for fun. We can enjoy ourselves and laugh, but we're not here to laugh. We're here to reach our fucking potential. That's what book club is about. And if you want to reach your potential, I hope you join us.
Next Level Nation, as always, we love you. We appreciate you. Grateful for each and every one of you. And at NLU, we don't have fans. We have family. We will talk to you all tomorrow.
Keep it next level. Next Level Nation.